So before we start, I would like to know from each one of you, what is that you think this topic is all about? And what is that you wish to take away at the end of it? Because there are two ways to approach a subject. One is just to know for curiosity, and the other one is to try and implement back certain ideas. So there are two ways to approach knowing a subject, right? Just for curiosity, so that we can be good in discussing with others when the topic comes, irrespective of whether we are able to practice that or not. Second is taking at least a leaf out of it and seeing whether we can put to practice. So our sessions at Srimath has been always trying to link the subjects to practice and understand certain things, why they are the way they are. So that's the background. So I'll just ask less participants, so it's good. So the person first on the screen is Annapurna. So in 30 seconds, if you could tell what prompted you to attend the session today.
Sir, you had given us an intro into what are the chakras that are available, that are in the body, and some of the asanas actually that they work on these specific chakras. But so what I wanted to really use that this discussion was to see how I can incorporate this and be conscious of it while practicing yoga, and also while teaching others in terms of what is the significance of this and how these things will help well-being of individuals.
Okay, superb. Now Dr. Venkat is there next on the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, doctor.
Namaste. Yes, sir. Yeah, so I have been practicing yoga for the past 2-3 years now, and yeah, we do take trained yoga through one of our gurus, and have learned a little bit about the different chakras and its power of healing. Literally, not just healing. I think the chakras control a lot of your reactions, your emotions, and many things. So I would like to learn more, because I think more and more you keep learning, there is always a scope of trying to improve oneself. And I would like to also use it, because being an eye specialist, apart from just healing, I always believe that holistic healing is the key. It's not about one type of treatment, it's a holistic healing. And I do get a lot of patients with a lot of problems, and whom I've advocated yoga, I've advocated Ayurveda, I've advocated all forms of healing. So I've never said that this is one type of medicine that should be taken, others should not be taken. So there is a lot of power in healing through chakras, and like to explore that and try to guide other people also across.
Sure. Okay. Anyway, someone is driving, so they wanted to know about chakras. Good, Priya. Now, can we listen from Robin?
Yeah, hi, sir. So basically, for me personally, joining this particular session is forced by the point that there has been a good amount of confusion, as in when we are, as a seeker. I want to speak as a seeker. So when we are walking on a particular path, many of my seniors, who have achieved greater heights in yoga and meditation, they have asked me to refrain from discussing any such thing. They said, no, there is nothing called Kundalini, there is nothing on chakra. You just focus on your, path and the diksha which is given to you. So there is a bit of confusion that if it really exists, or the way it is being portrayed to exist, that there is a Kundalini which sits in the Muladhara and then it rises up. Is it really the way is it portrayed, or there is something greater or more subtle into it? Second, my curiosity was intrigued by the fact that yesterday an article was shared where it was said that it is being, the same thing is being replicated into the geographical level. So I really did not understand the connection between, if it was true, I'm not pretty sure if it was, but if it was true, I didn't really understand the, pretty much connection between the body chakra inside, as we get to know, and the physical appearances. So I just wanted to have clear this web of confusion and get a clarity upon the concept. That is my point.
Super.
Thank you.
Thanks for opening out.
Thank you, sir.
Sridharan sir.
Sir, I don't know anything much about the chakras. All I have been told is that all chakras should be balanced and we should harmonize it. That much I know. More than that, I want to listen from you.
Thank you, sir. I can see Hema, one of our team members here. Hema, you can go ahead. Ashutosh is there with you. If he wants to say something.
No, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we have so Rajesh Kurpad here. Any thoughts on this?
Good evening, Krishna, and good evening. Basically,
evening.
I would just second Sridharan, sir. Apart from the wheel of life, chakra of life, I don't know any other thing. So I would love to learn from you today.
Oh, anyway, we are in this journey together. Let's see what we can do in the time we have today. And we have Sivapriya Suresh.
Yeah, good
Yes,
evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, how are you all?
Yeah, doing well. We just wanted to know what prompted you to be part of this session.
Yeah, as I have been with you and I have stayed even for other yoga camps, so I know how effective and useful, and I know all about. I had a chance to be with your students also. So yeah, so my learning thing has always been I wanted to learn and come and really participate in your Bangalore yoga place, but chance I didn't get chance, but at least this is a nice chance to at least get some knowledge from you through this Zoom. So, and I wish you all the best. Really,
Thank you.
I know you have so much of potential yet to give to the world. So keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I take the presence of all elders here as a blessing from the tradition itself. And my peers and youngsters always remind me that they are far ahead in the journey because they have understood the value of it. So that's the long and short of it. See the point which Robin raised is the first thing which I thought is better to address. For a larger part of the first 12 years of me being with my teacher, we were not allowed to study any books or anything which is not considered as normal, because it may confuse us. And second, we start to visualize and imagine which we are not having knowledge about. So that is also a trap. So what we generally do is we focus on the process, and whatever has to happen within us will definitely happen. Okay. Now, not everyone who is there with us at family or friends or employees or peers are following a path. Not everyone said, morning I'll get up, go for a walk, or I have to do my asana pranayama practice. Each is living on their own, right? And Sridharan sir used a beautiful word. It's like just to know how to balance things. So many times it's not about being technical. It's about being practical of how can we harness our day-to-day living itself, so that without even going to a healer or without even knowing about chakras, how by our daily activities we can balance these energy centers. So that's a very good starting point Sridharan sir has given. Thank you, sir, for that. And Robin gave the point of view from the sadhaka's point of view. Okay, so now the thing is, all of us have seen all of us are seated and a light is there, and we can see a set of wires running above us, right? Either if it is concealed, all of us know there is need of a negative and a positive wire which is needed there, and a neutral is also there as the main earthing place, correct? So now, if this negative and positive are not made to come together, there is no light. Like a railway track, there you can have millions of kilometers of wire meshed between each other, and there is never going to be electricity generated unless and until this negative and the positive meet. So the red and the green basically are yellow colors are given there. So when they meet, you see a spark. So in electricity, you say it's a vortex of energy which gets formed, and you tap that vortex of energy through a fan, a light, or any device you operate through electricity. Even if you see at home an innocuous looking battery, if you lift, there is a positive in one side, there is a negative in one side. Together, they are needed optimally for the battery to be live, correct? So when a battery life is done, nobody can figure out whether negative is done or positive is done. It is done, you have to throw it to confine it to the dustbin. So the word positive and negative, we should not understand the way we are understanding in the English vocabulary, or he is a positive person, he is a negative person. That is not the way it is. We should know that there are two things which, when they come together, something is produced. The extreme physical world, it's like child is a vortex of energy born out of the mating of a man and a woman. That way you have to understand two different energies coming together. So when this happens within our body, the body also needs for functioning electricity or something equivalent to that. So what happens from the base, which Robin mentioned as the Mula Adhara, that means Mula means root or base. Adhara means support. So now all of us are seated on the support of the Mooladhara. Correct? So from there, the ancients tell two shoots come. One is called the Ida, another is called the Pingala. Ida in most of the Indian languages means left side, correct? Ida Bhaga. Pingala is the right. So whenever they meet in our body, that meeting point appears as a chakra, because there is something happens there. That vortex of energy is a chakra. So the first place they meet is the Mula Adhara. So that is why that is called a chakra. Then they crisscross like this. If you see any doctor's vehicle, behind the doctor's vehicle, you would see a skeletal staff center and snakes going left, right, center. How many of you have observed that? Anyway, we have a doctor in the room anyway. Correct? All of us have observed it. It's nothing but energy. Okay. So when this meeting point happens, that becomes a chakra. That's it. Very simple way. Now, how to understand this? Many of us, when we were studying, we used to have the doubt. It is the same Ida, same Pingala, but every chakra is different. I'm sure Annapurna would be having such questions. That is the way she gets into she goes beyond the subject level by she always questions the very fundamentals. That is the way to learn any new subject. If there are only two things, how various chakras are formed? Okay, so now let us, because I know her and I know many of you here, I will go and ask a question to someone who first time I'm interacting in this session. Okay, so let's go to Dr. Venkat is there. So, yeah. Doctor, how many of you are brothers and sisters at home?
So we are three of us. I have two sisters and I'm the only son.
Okay. So very simple.
Elder sister and one twin sister.
Yes. Now in Annapurna's home, we know I know that there are many children, right? Correct. So many of the homes, parents are the same. How can the children be different? Similarly, the time of meeting, the circumstances when our parents meet for procreation, everything is different, though they are the same thing, correct? Similarly, when this Ida and Pingala, being the same nadis, when they meet at different locations, at different points in time, because travel takes time, right? From point A to point B, like a first child to the second child. This is why the same Ida Pingala, depending on the location in the body they meet, they are able to exhibit different characteristics. I'm sure if we have a chat with Dr. Venkat, he will say all the three kids have one thing which is common, which is our parents. There's nothing else common between us. Many of us know that, right? So this is how we have to understand in a very practical way. When there are only two things, these two things at various points when they meet give rise to the energies which are different. This is one fundamental question many of them who are studying the subject have, but this is not mentioned in the book. This is all coming in the oral traditions. Okay, now again, when we go back, our tradition tells we used to be having the Gurukulas. In the Gurukula, very recently till the 18th century, I recommend all of you download the book by Dharampal. It is called A Beautiful Tree. He has studied, he was one of the secretaries of Mahatma Gandhi. He has studied the records which are available with the British and with India and figured out the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra were just classifications to do the job in the society. In the Gurukula, in fact, in many Gurukulas, there were more Shudra students than the Brahmana students. That opens our eyes because, yeah, fantastic problem. Because knowledge is common to all of us, like how the air we breathe and the water we drink. It is we who try to do many things. The reason why I am telling you this, around 7 years, the children were sent to the Gurukula and the children stayed there for 12 years till their entire teenage got over. Today now, various schooling mechanisms are saying, don't send to the kid to the school at 4 or 5 years, 6 or 7 years, please send them to the school. Till that time, please do homeschooling. There are various schooling methods which are pointing out to this. So this 12 years, when the child is staying with the teacher, by activities, the children got to balance all these chakras and they came out to the society as a proper human being. So that is what in a small way we try to mimic whenever we do programs at Srimad is everyone gets to engage working with the earth, which is the farm. So when you do a bit of conscious gardening, your balance of the earth chakra will definitely happen. This is how practically our day-to-day life, our ancients inbuilt the balancing and cleansing of chakras in the activities. So when you water them or the way you handle the water taps or water gently, the water element gives you the balance of the water element in your body, which relates right from your mood swings to management of money and management of your conjugal bliss also. So the water element goes through all these things. So they gave a very balanced formula of working with this, correct? And the fire element, whenever you take up something, initiatives, and you do it, and many of the kids who studied were first taught Swayampa, meaning they should be able to cook the food which is needed for themselves so that no one is deprived of it. So that is one. Second way, while they were having food, nobody spoke. Traditionally also, if you see many of our elders at home, nobody spoke while having food because food is considered as an ahuti you give in your body, the Jataragni. And Bhagavan himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Vaishva, what is that, Hema, you remembering it? Vaishvanar Agni, he is saying, right? He is present in everyone as the Vaishvana Agni. So this way, Aham Vaishvana. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so just note these things. So this is the way you have to do. Then they were taught about managing relationships. So the entire traditional way of living is living together. Today we have fantastic homes, 1 or 2 people live there. Traditionally, all of us used to live in a small home where so many people were there. So the art of adjusting, letting others do it, all that stuff helped people to groom their heart chakra, because heart chakra is to do with the air element, and air, you know, it can be in the smallest of the spaces, it can go in and come out. So the entire relationship management was taught by living together as a family, in a family, giving and taking and doing it. Okay, so this is the how that chakras things were happening. And then finally coming to the space element, which is the sound. So seldom people spoke before elders, or they always thought twice before speaking. Correct? Today, unlike today, you have a lot of WhatsApp universities and unsolicited advices coming in there. Words were used sparingly. So when a person has a control over the words, to manifest that in the day-to-day life, every day conscious downtime of mauna was inbuilt in the schedule. One is anyway, while you are having food, you maintain mauna. Other time, you eschewed the boredom, or you managed your tendency to talk or advise anyone unsolicited. You know, these are the ways in which the sound element, which is going to balance the space, was managed. So these 5, without even going to any balancing and all that stuff, each of us can have a working relationship with these 5 elements in nature. When you do that, it is a macrocosm. It is the outside that generally starts reflecting in the microcosm, which is you. Correct? No? Then when these 5 are working in sync, then the mind, which is considered as the 6th, which is an aggregator of all this, becomes clutter free. So what our tradition will generally tell you, moment you are used to instant gratification, your chakras will never be balanced. You need to give that space and time. Seldom today children hear the word, are happy with the word no. If you say no, the children don't want you. But many of us here are in the age group where we have heard more no than yes. Yes, sometimes it goes to the extreme of deprivation, but a person who has decided to have a balanced life should be having the courage to say a yes when it has to, a no when it has to. So this is the way practically a person tunes the mind. So what they did, everybody cannot go into this conceptual level, right? So when these kids joined the Gurukula, many of them were given a mantra, and then they were given a pranayama practice. So what was that pranayama practice generally done before any sadhana, Hema?
Balancing one, you mean?
Yes. It's the
Nadi
Nadi Shodhana. So what is this Nadi Shodhana, which is given, which is the process of practicing 10 rounds of this breathing practice 3 times a day. Yes, Anuloma Viloma or Nadi Shodhana. So what is this Nadi Shodhana? In English, we just do it as an alternate nostril breathing. It is not just an alternate nostril breathing. It is what you can call as energy channel cleansing technique. Nadi is an energy channel. So we should not oversimplify things because we don't understand the Samskrita terms. So how come people were able to do it? So when they did it 3 times a day, 10 rounds, what happened? The purification of the 72,000 nadis happened gradually. It is like doing a daily housekeeping. So every 6 hours, they were cleaning actually their mind and decluttering the mind, and they were living in the now. The more a person trains to be in the now, balancing of chakras will naturally happen. For that, the conceptual understanding that past can never be changed and future can never be predicted. It is all our wishes we want to come true, our dreams, which are actually delaying and congesting these chakras. Because when this happens more, the fear builds up and the earth chakra is disturbed. Correct? When avaricious nature for wealth happens, your water chakra is disturbed. When this both create the stress, your digestive system is implodes, it doesn't work. When all these things do not sync, your relationship with yourself first collapses, which is your heart chakra. Then your relationship with your near and dear ones is only about mechanical thing and what you can get from them than what you can give to them. And then finally, the words you speak, the way you approach, everything collapses. So everything starts with taking a periodic break during the day, like how we have a breakfast, lunch, dinner, and building in mindfulness, building in pranayama techniques so that our chakras can be practically balanced without even knowing the name of the chakras. We don't need to know the technical things. We need to know that if we do this, there is going to be a sense of balance throughout my system. Okay, so this is the practical ways of doing this. Now this entire session started because Robin Verma and me are part of a group where the convener Sam had shared an article on the chakra points across various positions in the globe, and they had mentioned Kailash as the Sahasrara chakra. I am going to share that article with all of the people assembled here in your email. Then one interesting point mentioned there was the command center, which is the mind, which is the Ajna chakra, the sixth one. It is mentioned clearly in the article, it is not fixed. So that means what? When you fix that, everything else is balanced. So when that is fixed, that is what Ramana did. He didn't move out of the place. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar did. He didn't move out of that. Bhagavan Nityananda did. He stayed in Ganeshpuri till the end. Because we are not able to have a fixation of with reality, we are moving around everywhere and the mind is moving around everywhere. So even in that article which is done, with the entire world is being mapped, that is what is being given there. So how in tradition we handled it, like I was mentioning to you, every child born in this land, the moment the child is able to speak clearly, it was given a mantra, very simple. So this mantra worked with the mind. So what is mantra? Mananat trayate iti mantraha. That means that which protects the one who does it. So when someone invests time in mantra japa in a completely relaxed and comforting way, understanding the past cannot be changed, the future nobody can predict. What reality is now, I am breathing, and this mantra, gradually the mind gets settled. When the mind gets settled, it has all the energies to balance all the chakras. So this is the way to balance it using a mantra. Balancing it using activities I already mentioned, right from working with the earth element, water element in a conscious way. You can club both and make a very, very meaningful life. Now, how to identify these things? This knowledge is right now absent. It appears to be absent, but in the living yoga traditions, what they did, they have identified 5 Shivalinga places, at least in Tamil Nadu it is there. In every place it is there. So when people go in depth, they will get that revelation. But what is told to us is, when someone wishes to balance and work with the earth, they are asked to visit the Kanchi Ekambareshwara temple. That Shiva is, it appears to have a lot of earth energy. So this is the interesting tip given in our Yoga Shastras. Then when someone says, I wish to get my water chakra balanced, all they need to do is to visit Thiruvannaikaval near Srirangam and Trichy, where even the Shiva himself is surrounded always by water in the temple. So people are asked to visit there. Then when someone wants to work with their fire element for self-transformation, they are asked to go to Tiruvannamalai, which is the entire hill is considered as the Shiva, and transformation, even Ramana says, is guaranteed, because fire is the one which transforms a sheet of plastic into the laptop you see now, or whatever you see now. Fire is needed for transforming. Form itself is fire. We are able to see. Trans is movement. So whatever you have, it is only through fire you can transform. Like you have rice, it boils in water. That fire is that which transforms it into the way we can eat it, right? So any transformation, great saints always ask us to go to Tiruvannamalai since ages. Then comes the air element. So many of us astrologically were advised to go to Tirukalahasti. So when you go and see the Sanctum Sanctorum, there is no gap for air to be there, but still you can see the flame of the lamp lit before the divine always dancing there, correct? So how the air enters, what is happening, we don't know. There's a sense of air element there. And finally, the space, Chit Ambara, that is Chidambaram, Nataraja, Sanctum Sanctorum is there, which is space, correct? So our ancients ensured that people undertook a pilgrimage here. Similar things are found in south of Tamil Nadu. We used to have records of that in every part of India, which is now missing. So people who are interested can have to go deeper into this science and figure it out. I just thought one more small snippet I would like to give. The purpose of installing Shiva Linga in that form is to harness that particular energy there. Correct? How many of us still remember the shape of a nuclear reactor, which we studied in schools? We used to write for marks, right? The entire nuclear reactor will be like Shiva only. And what is there used? It is water which is used to manage in the nuclear plants. If you go, it's water which is used. So that is why our people esoterically mention Shiva is Abhisheka Priya. Always you have to pour water. Water is there. So these are symbolic things. That symbol has a lot of meaning there. And we need to understand with that and then do it. So depending on the need of the person, the item with which you have to do Abhisheka itself changed. So in the Vaishnava Sampradaya, you have the Shalagrama. Again, it's every Shalagrama looks the same, right? Again, the purpose is using water to, or anything liquid major to manage that energy. And that was given as a prasada to people. So this way, without a common man knowing, our ancient living systems helped people to balance their chakras through activities, through personal inquiry, or through kshetra visits like this. So you need to find a combination which works for you instead of getting confused by reading so many books and articles on it, because that is going to give you a third person information only. Is it fine? So now, because it's a closed group, if someone wants to go deep, like we have Dr. Venkat here, he also mentioned about the need for women during various stages in their life to know more about chakras. The best place to look at it is pick up a copy of Lalita Sahasranama. In that, all these 7 chakras are mentioned, and what kind of control it does in the body is also mentioned. So all your glands in the body, you can, and main functions of the body, you can easily map it to the chakras. Okay, so your excretory system to the base chakra, the reproductive system to your water chakra, the digestive system to your Manipura chakra, the respiratory system is air, no? Respiration, lungs, to your heart chakra, and the voice vocal box, here it is only space, empty space. It is to the space chakra. And the mind is where the Siddha and Pingala meet. And from there, it's just a straight journey there. The text is Lalita Sahasranama, the 1,000 names of the divine as Mother Lalita. In that is the first text given open to the common man about the chakras. In that, any of you would like to know more, if you just decode word to word meaning about the chakras mentioned, I think 110 or some shloka onwards, you can easily understand which body function And there are Sapta Dhatus in the body. Everybody studying medicine will know about it. Which Dhatu is controlled by which chakra, everything is mentioned very clearly there. Okay, this input is because Dr. Venkat spoke about it. So after lighting lamps in the evening, lighting of lamp itself is to bring our mind collected in one place, because the Deepa will be lit in such a way that you are able to gaze at the Deepa, and at least a 20-minute chanting is done every day at our traditional homes, because it helps us to balance many things in the body. I would say 24 minutes you have to take, because 48 minutes is one muhurta. I am telling you the traditional way of balancing these chakras. 48 minutes is one muhurta. So marriages in India are fixed in one of the 30 muhurtas available in the day. 24 into 60 is hourly basis, but muhurta means 48 minutes. So when you do any activity for half a muhurta, which is 24 minutes every day, whether it could be reading a book, whether it could be learning a new skill, whatever you wish to do and change in your life, you need to do at least 24 minutes, which is half muhurta. So many of these ancient texts called Sahasranama, you are able to study from 24 minutes to 36 minutes once your pronunciation and your proficiency is in place. 24 minutes to 36 minutes, you can finish it. In every regional language, you have got various texts. So when you are taking Tamil, you have Skanda Shashti Kavacham or Skanda Guru Kavacham, which is there. So you go back to your tradition and the language, which is your mother tongue, and pick up a text which is already written there. And then have this Parayana as a habit every day in the evenings, because sunrise to sunset, like how birds work, we are supposed to work. And then if you want to have a sync with nature, with less diseases in the body, you need to slowly withdraw from activities. And like what we are doing now, Swadhyaya, Satsanga and Sadhana. These are the three yes we should have. Swadhyaya is self-study. Satsanga is congregation with truth, with people who have done it or who are interested together in this journey of self-discovery, and sadhana. Each of us would be having a different sadhana. So one moment sunset happens, our day-to-day activities have to be slowly reduced and our mind should be put into these activities. So then naturally, by doing this, balancing of chakras will happen even without we knowing how they are. Okay. So I'm just stopping here. And I would like to take some questions.
First of all, many thank you, Krishna sir. It was very, very informative for me. Yeah. One or two things. First, this Sahasranama you mentioned, is it available in any kind of language, North Indian language, kind of Hindi or English?
If you know to read Hindi, same script Samskrita. And the idea is reading in Samskrita is very important because it is one of the language which is dialect free. It has no slangs and there is no accent in that language. Ka is ka only. And when you say yoga, you say yoga. When we go to our South Indian languages, we call it yoga, yoga or yoha. In North, you tend to cut it as yoga. Both are incorrect. Yoga is yoga. So Samskrita is like your medical terms, right? Like it is precise. You have to say that. Exactly. So
how about the meaning, sir? As
meaning there's Adayar book library. There is a I'll share the details with you. Or you mentioned someone initiated. No, you can also ask them the version they would like you to read. So my request to all of you here is somehow meet someone. Yeah, Chalakare Brothers Lalita Sahasranama is good to hear. It is available as a free download. Thanks, Hema, was saying that. There are many Sahasranama, many versions, many people have chanted, but their mother tongue has slipped in. In some place, the Sa will be there. Because Chalakare Brothers are Vedic Pandits, they have exactly chanted the way. This is first. Second, out of personal like and dislike, many people have sung Sahasranama in various raga. we don't need to get into that domain, because there is no standard pattern mentioned in the tradition that this will happen to you when you chant, when you sing in this raga. So we always have to take things as they are instead of imposing our likes and dislikes on music or anything. For that, there is different. For every chakra, there is a raga. A separate class can be had. That is a different thing. But when you take up Lalita Sahasranama as a study, what my teacher has mentioned, when you sit straight and do the pranayama, what you need to do happens on its own. The bandhas happen on their own. The kumbhaka, wherever the breath needs to be retained happens on its own. And because we all have sedentary lifestyle, the main problem we have is the respiratory system goes for a toss. We have two doctors on the screen here. They know that the respiratory system is weakened and the large intestine weakens. So when you do loud chanting, what happens with correct ucharana in the Sanskrita language, you can balance the weakening of respiratory system and your digestive system. That is why this 24 minutes to 36 minutes of loud chanting. Don't feel shy. When you are feeling unhealthy, you have to undergo the pain. Loud chanting, don't tell I am an introvert. Introvert also will get pain. So this, we have a lot of avaranas like this. I am this, I am like that. All that has to be knocked off. Sit with some. I can also ask a Sanskrita teacher, one of our Ayurveda Acharyas. If any of you are interested, I'll connect with her. What they do, they teach Sanskrita free from Sanskrita Bharati. Sit with someone, like how you invest to study a new technology or a new software. Pronounce all the 51 aksharas in Sanskrita in the way it has to be done. Then listen to Chalakare brothers, go over it, and then you should be fine with it. And why I am not giving more importance to meaning, in Sanskrita language, everything has minimum 7 meanings. I am not saying it. Dr. David Fraley says, depending on our level of evolution, that meaning would be revealed to us. Okay, so don't focus on meaning. For example, I mean, Hema, Annapurna, all of them know. Whenever we study something new at Srimad, what I say, think you are a child in LKG. We may be accomplished as somebody, a great person running a software company. I know everything. We know only alphabets. Like I know English language, I know mathematics, but can I understand astrophysics book, which is written with numbers and numerals? I cannot understand. If you give me a book, a dentistry book by Dr. Priya or by Dr. Venkat, something on ophthalmology, I know it is written in English and numbers are there for pages, but I cannot understand the context and the content with it. You think of Lalita Sahasranama as a text of Mantra Shastra, which we are not having access to. Sit with someone and study that. Don't worry about the meanings, only worry about the pronunciation. When we do the pronunciation right, the meaning will happen on its own depending on our level of comprehending. It is not without a reason it is kept Lalita Sahasranama. There are 1,000 names, no? I hope some of you know. See, Lalita comes from the root Leela. Leela means to play. What is Lalita? Means the one who likes to sport or play. So what are you telling the mother? You better come down to my level. I am your child. You interact with me. Like if you see the mothers interacting with the child, there is no language. The child will tell ooh, mother will tell ah. They both will understand what they are talking. People will think they both are mad. So what is happening? You need to become the child to learn the truth. So you ask the mother, you come down, then only you have the right royal. Many of us in home, we call our mother as tum or tu, no? Father also people call aap. Because you're so close to her, you say, come, do this for me. They understand it, no? Similarly, when your biological mother can be so close and understanding, don't you think Divine Mother is as, she's mother of your mother also, right? And she is mother of your grandmother also. So what you try to do is to tell the divine, see, I am a child. Please help me to learn the pronunciation right and reveal the meaning which I can understand and comprehend instead of confounding me with too many things. So you ask and you will receive. So this way you can approach Mother Lalita Sahasranama.
One more thing, we regularly, as in I know these are more of concepts than practice, but still there is this talk about chakra jagrat karne ki he is awakened that chakra, he has awakened that chakra. So I don't understand the difference between what is a normal situation and the awakened situation of a chakra, and what is the difference, because if the same energy, if it is only about balance, as in, or most of the time, or in another way, a normal person has no chakra awakened. Is it like that? Because energy must be flowing through all the chakra all the time in all the
Yes.
persons.
So again, the idea is, unless you are seated with a great soul who has done it, in tradition, we don't do it. Like, for example, if today both the doctors are operating, it's because years of their apprenticeship with someone who has done it before. Suddenly, doctor will not say, I will remove your wisdom teeth.
Obviously.
She knows, because of her apprenticeship with her teacher or some elders, at which stage you should do what. Similarly, unless you have a hand-holding and physical presence of a great master, don't venture into all these things. In fact, don't read about it. If you want to know the contra of what is going to happen, you can visit Motilal Banarasidas bookshop in online, MLBD, pick up a book by Pandit Gopi Krishna, who tells, without understanding, when he tried to do all this, how he became mad. Okay, so we don't need to touch. It's like, without knowing electrician's work, you go and say, I have a spanner, I am wearing a footwear, I'll go and touch the main board. It will throw you off balance, right? Similarly, all these things are different play and flow of electricity. Without proper utilities and guidance, we should not do. So traditionally, this pranayama techniques, this loud chanting, they will do their work. But when you become ready, we don't need to worry. The teacher will come to you. Like, did we know that who is going to teach us ABCD? When we were ready, our parents took to the teacher. We didn't know who is our teacher, right? But when we were ready, the teacher appeared. That's the meaning. Similarly, our work is always process orientation. Results will take care based on our prarabdha. So we focus on doing the sadhana correct, keeping the mind devoid of any expectation that I'm doing this mantra japa for 1 lakh times, suddenly some flower is going to bloom, I'm going to see the future. Your mind will be there, not on doing the japa. So get the mind back to the present and just do the sadhana. When the time comes, your teacher will definitely come and do that work for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have 4 more minutes. If any questions are there, we can take. Yes, Dr. Priya?
Yeah. Is there a time frame and how many times if this Lalita Sahasranam must be done? Any, is it in the mornings or is it only in the evenings? Which is the more powerful time to do it?
I would say powerful means your intent.
Okay.
Okay. I was mentioning about the evenings because after 6, many of us don't know what to do, right? We know it to withdraw. And because it's feminine energy, it's more pronounced after sunset. So that is why generally Vishnu Sahasranama or Aditya Hridayam is done in the morning. And Lalita Sahasranama or any Devi Upasana is done after sunset.
Okay.
So this is one more esoteric way to do. Once a day is more than enough.
Okay. And is it there that once you start off that you have to do it continuously for some days, or does it become a part of your regular ritual sort of a thing?
It depends on your priority. Okay, so the initial days, I would not suggest you to have a lot of restrictions. Take 1 day at a time. Do it. If when you having monthly cycles, still do it in your mind. Continue it. Forget about what the purists are saying, because nobody can stop thinking about something which you have started, right? So remove all this body and related stuff and so many things. Once you are internalizing it, that's why you can listen to it and you can do it. Okay. So you do as much as you can. Gradually, it becomes a habit.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any point which you had in mind which was not addressed, please tell. If it's possible, let's address in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, I had one question about the 5 elements. You said that like in ancient days, they used to feel that. So in day-to-day life, how do we do such simple things which we can definitely add to it? Daily life.
Daily have some interaction with Mother Earth.
So
Whether
that's
it is
how
eating and
to
staying
have that
grounded,
interaction.
tending a small tulsi plant or watering something, walk barefoot in the soil, do something direct connect with Mother Earth. Then naturally you will see a plant is slightly not having enough water, you will pour water, the water is done. Ensure there is no leakage of taps at your home. Leakage of tap is leakage of finance and many things also. So use water optimally. If you can brush your teeth by having 1 mug of water, don't open the tap and do it. The idea is be mindful and use nature's resources as less and less as possible. And then fire is how our people started, right from the kolam or rangoli you draw in the front of the home. That is the form which is in your mind, which you are bringing it out. Right from that to how you appear as presentable and pleasant. We don't need to deck ourselves and do the makeup. That's pleasantness and presentable by wearing a gentle smile and be clean. That itself is form working with your transformation things. Correct? So how we talk with others, get into the relationship mode, the air element is refined. We don't need to be always the person who is winning an argument. We don't need to always provide a suggestion to somebody. Correct? The relationship is given more importance, and putting their interests in mind, then the relationship improves. Then we become comfortable with ourselves. Suppose I am only 5 feet 6 inches tall, I am dark. Starting to reconcile that this is what is given to me. Instead of feeling bad or having self-pity and having a notion, oh, they are looking good, I am not looking good. We don't know somebody's life, right? So find out things which you are putting yourself down and developing a good relationship with yourself. If you did a great job, treat yourself for an ice cream, nothing wrong in it. Correct? So be comfortable and happy with yourself. At the same time, don't need to pamper. So the relationship building helps you to build your heart chakra. And the words you speak, the pauses and silence you have throughout the day consciously, not because someone silenced us and we are silent. You take a decision to have mauna during food. You take a decision to keep quiet, because by we giving suggestion and solution, nothing is going to change. Many times people ask out of curiosity, but they still take decision on their own. So unless someone values it, don't waste your words. That will strengthen your throat chakra or the space element. Second is trying to be as close as possible to the truth. The more you are as close as possible to the truth, you will have your throat chakra always clear. That is why they say when you keep speaking the truth, then later the masters tell whatever you speak will become truth. That is the power of your throat chakra. So this way naturally we do. And then for mind decluttering at home, try to be orderly without having an OCD. Obsessive compulsive disorder is other extreme of cleanliness and mind decluttering, because that creates stress. So we have a balance between too much clutter and too much of OCD. Then the mind gets into the space. And over a period of time, you yourself will understand what needs to be done within you more. You don't need somebody from external to tell you. Correct? So that self-introspection will help. And your daily parayana and the pranayama things will help you to stay grounded and do the day-to-day housekeeping of your chakras. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
May I ask one off the topic question, please? If it is just we have two seconds. Actually, I have this great curiosity to learn about the great ancient mystics or saints of India. Especially during this bhakti time and movement. So can you please refer me any kind of video source or any kind of book where I can have a greater learning about the ancient saints and mystics of India?
In one book, actually, you can get a glimpse of India, which is Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna.
Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna.
Whatever we are speaking, and whatever the bhakti, the moods were the saints, whatever paths you are seeing in India, right from Christianity to Islam to Vedanta, if there is one person in the modern day who has done all this with a record, is Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is a great book, which is like a dictionary. It will take you a month or two to read and assimilate. And whenever you want, you can read it. And there are two more books.
Please.
Because people think when you take up to mantra or spirituality, life is going to be a bed of roses. People don't understand the bed of roses will also have the thorns accompanied with it.
Yes.
A rose is not possible without a thorn, right? So it will tell you how to navigate through it. So two more books are there, which is God lived with them and they lived with God. Both are about the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. So when we see, that is why our tradition gives a lot of emphasis on action. Karma yoga, go, do it. No intellectualization. Intellectualization is going to create stress for us and others. So they pushed the youngsters in doing and learn due to that experience. So these three books are good to start. And then the saints of Maharashtra, saints of Tamil Nadu, like that, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan has released a lot of books. They are very authentic sources to study about it. You can also read the English translation of Shiva Purana, where 63 lives of great saints are given.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So thanks to each one of you who have invested your time here. I'm very grateful you chose to be here today. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pranam, sir, was
you.
excellent. A great learning about so many things, and the power and why each of those temples also are so very unique in its own way, with great power and belief. Lots more to learn from you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Namaskaram.
Thank you very much, Mr. Krishna. I didn't think I would be able to make it to this, but it was an excellent eye-opener on chakras, and you just told just such simple, practical things. Amazing about the temples also, as Dr. Venkat mentioned. Didn't know about all such things. So many things around us, we can change ourselves. So building a good relationship with oneself. Excellent.
Thanks,
Thank you
Doctor.
so much for this.
Thank you. Yes. So with your permission, can I conclude the meeting? Okay. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you.